Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Line. No, I'm not going to do that. Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Line. I'm Samuel.
And I'm Charleton.
Taking a deep dive into the arts of mime and choreography.
That is definitely part of probably what we do here.
I mean, that's what we're shooting for. But, I mean, you tell us. Are we doing it? Well, tell us about the episode in the comments section. So what do we got for them today?
So today we are going to be examining. We are going to be taking a deep dive into the arts of Light Up by Bob.
Light up the world! Such a great song. Shout out to San Diego. Ska music.
Yep, ska music.
We need to make a ska playlist of all of the ska songs that we've choreographed because I think it's an unusually high number of songs.
Yep.
But, shout out to San Diego. So, original choreographers for the song would be Rosalie, my sister. But also, I know, right? Fangirl. But also a little help from, I think, Stuart. And then later variations had Emily Perry helping out, change some of the scenery and what we did. And then we really changed it with, me messing with things. The whole beginning and middle sequence and ending sequence are all different except for the actual, chorus. So we'll get into the variations. But we've had lots of changes over the years.
So basically this song has been, torn apart and put back together.
I almost want to watch, both versions at the same time because they are really different.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but anyway, let's get into the video.
All right.
All right, so this is one of the end of the year videos we did for AIM San Diego, so it's on our personal channel. I love the contrast between big man cadence and little guy in the thighs.
Yep, it's one of the things I admire about this song is you purposefully put a very small child as the main character. So when my team in Kansas did this song,
set piece here of actually using people as stairs. Love that. That's partly also why they have to be small. Carry on.
Yeah. We had Paige, who was this adorable little girl, and it's so funny to watch this song be done with just children because an adult doing it, I'm sure they could do fine, but having a kid just feels so much more fun. I love it.
Shout out to Sedona, doing the chorus with part of where this song has a lot of fun is in the interactions between the dog and the people. So if the dog has to be high energy for this and come up with things to do, digging up bones and going in circles and doing the course with the mane. It's really fun. Also, shout out to the garland that gets destroyed every year from putting it on people and having to decorate it and having people dance with it. No, it's a fun song that's trying to show the contrast of people celebrating Christmas.
Yep.
It's little silly stuff, but
oh man, and we got the little manger scene on the left with Santa.
Right.
Silly.
Well, and it's it's a cool moment where it's already been set up for the whole verse here, but then you throw in throwing the Santa head on.
I don't know what's going on in the background, but Sayla and Megan are laughing and something happened.
Super professional.
Anyways.
And Caden's trying to be small.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right? Person tries to get away with it, and then the dog trips them. It makes a lot of sense. And then the instant conversion of Jesus loves you. Oh! And then, understanding. It's light bulb moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instant. I do love the layering of the tree, because, a lot of people just do a single person, because that's all you have room for, but it's really fun when you get to throw on. Also, Emily decided to use, real actual lights on the doghouse, so that they have a little, switch that they can do with their thumb when they're dancing, just because we needed more props to break during the, dancing sequence here.
This is a prop-heavy song, which we'll talk about later.
Yes. But it's also fun, because then they have to do the chorus with the garland, with the hat, with the lights, I feel like it adds a lot of fun. The swinging lights in the background there. Kaylee
probably whacked somebody.
It's it's intentionally goofy, trying to amp up the laughter factor. The Santa hat falling off Lauren, I don't know. I have a blast with it. One of the hard parts with this song is that it's 3 choruses at the end, so each time you have to progressively just make them happier, get bigger. I love the little lights going off everywhere. All right, so that's the video. Let's get into the purpose and message of the song. It's an introductory song.
It goes at the beginning of the lineup,
right?
And that's
you can't justify it pretty much anywhere else because the Christian part of the message is pretty small.
Yeah,
There's a Santa at the manger scene. Like, that's about it.
Yeah, like it clearly has like this song was written by Christians kind of vibes to it.
Oh, totally. Yeah, ska music, simple, fun.
Yeah, but it also is like, okay, this is just a fun, silly song, and that's totally acceptable.
Right.
I have no issues with that.
That's its goal.
That's its goal. It reaches that goal. And so with the purpose, then introductory song, I feel like it goes at the beginning of a message, probably for Christmas time.
Yep.
You know, like I'm not against.
I love you try to pull this off during like your Halloween fest.
Yeah, I'm not against you trying it in like July or something, but you probably wouldn't do as well unless you did it in like December.
Right. This would be the time of year you want to do it.
Yeah.
And then the message of the song.
And the message.
It has a lot of fun details in the song. Like, if you notice, the instrumental section of like after the second chorus is them doing trumpets of This Little Light of Mine. And it's just like little stuff like that where it's like subtly fun Christian message in there, and that the purpose is just saying we're going to spread the light of Jesus with the world during Christmas time.
Yeah, and super simple message, nothing crazy. I think sure, it's fine.
All right, it's fine. Happy song.
It's fun, happy, fine.
And going into that, I think that's what it does really well. It has a lot of fun, happy moments. Yep. Originally in the choreography, the person would come out and like be getting a tree, and then they would like grab the tree and then fall over with the tree. In this one, it's a little different, but it always has had that element of just doing fun things. So the dog doing the chorus in the background with the person like just... It's a lot of subtle things in the background. Like, if you just watch the main person, be like, oh, it's a fun song. You really have to like love Mime and watch the background. Like, one of my favorite aspects that is the decorator. So they are definitely responsible for getting the garland and the lights on. But when it says flip the switch, like, you'll see them subtly like turning on a small switch and turning on a plug and plugging this thing in, and then like starts getting like bigger and bigger, like things that are being plugged in and giant switches, and then they shock themselves like. But unless you're watching the background, you're not going to notice it. It's fun details, just people having lots of stupid fun.
Yeah. No, and I think that is what it does well. It's got a lot of colorization as a song at large,
right?
Because like it does a bunch of really dumb, silly things, and it does them immaculately.
Yeah. Right. The escape sequence when the person's like, "I'm going to steal Christmas," Totally not taking that trope from another green goblin or whatever looking figure.
That's
like,
right.
Person sneaking over to steal Christmas.
The green goblin. What?
Yes, from Spider-Man. Great power comes great responsibility or something.
Great power.
But when he steals the hat and tries to get away, and then the dog is the one that trips him up, and then the gospel being preached to him, God loves you. What? And it's like a light bulb going on, literally. Like, it's just instant conversion.
Yeah.
But again, that's the purpose, right? We're just showing that like the light of the gospel is what we're trying to show here. Introductory to the whole lineup.
Yeah. So sure.
All right. Any other praiseworthy aspects you throw in there?
I don't know. It's just like you said, a lot of details, a lot of fun little things. It does. Right. And one thing that I do want to add in there is that this does use, weirdly enough, a bunch of mime technique.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not even what you'd expect. Like, it goes in with like the trees and even just the furniture and stuff dancing.
Yep.
I don't know if you call that furniture, the decorations dancing.
Right. Or setting up things. Like, even though it has a lot of props in it too, it has a lot of elements of like the person hanging up the like lights around the window, or like Caden sneaking around using the mime wall, like hiding around places.
Yeah, it has a weird amount of technique for being such a ridiculous song.
Silly song, right? Gives you little bonus points of style. Yeah, throwing in a lot of mime in there. I love one of the set pieces of like them going up the staircase. Like, it has a little bit of logistics to work out, and sometimes it's not as clean. It's supposed to be that person in the guardrail is intentionally there to help bring him down. Like, I don't know, like Dr. Seuss silly, like the staircase is all of a sudden alive and helps them down and then goes back to being a staircase. It's supposed to be silly. But it's also supposed to have like, oh, wow, we're like using some layers here and developing things. A lot of fun characterization.
Yep, good stuff.
All right, what are some critiques that you might give to the song?
It's a terrible song. I'm just kidding.
You hate Christmas? Is that what I'm hearing?
Bah. No. No, I would honestly say the biggest critiques of the song that I have are probably the lack of gospel message that occurs in it.
What are you talking about, man?
Okay, maybe not lack, but like the minimization.
What more gospel do you want than Santa kneeling down in a manger? Like, I don't...
Get out of here.
Saint Nick? Saint?
I mean, honestly, I don't know why we don't talk about the story of Saint Nicholas during
I know,
Christmas.
right?
It's way cooler than Santa.
I'd love to see Mime that song. I'll choreograph that one coming up next year.
He like comes down as they're talking at the Council of Nicaea and just like decks a dude for preaching heresy. That's a story I'd love to tell my children.
I think I need to throw the meme in the comments of Saint Nick dressed as a Santa Claus and punching the guy over the face saying ho ho homoousius. There's like 3 people that will get that joke. Homoousius being the thing that they were fighting over, the nature of Christ, and Philology Claus. But anyway, church history nerdery aside, we'll choreograph that one later.
That'll be for later.
No, but I feel like because it's a fun song, it's hard to knock it down when it's cheesy. Like, sure, like you want to work out the trip sequence with the dog and the person so it doesn't look overtly stupid, but it's supposed to be a little cheesy. So I don't know how you knock something when it already is knocking itself down.
No, like honestly, I don't critique it for being silly, because that's its point.
Yeah.
I think that it does. Like, honestly, I don't really have that many critiques of this song.
The one I would have is just the development of the chorus. The main does it the first time, which makes sense. I'm gonna light up the world, and it's fun. You know, music, they just do it once, the first chorus, 2 the second, and 3 the third. The hard part is that third one where it has that trope of now everybody do the sign language at the end. If anything, I would almost want to choreograph it slightly different, where people join in, or I don't know, use that as the character development if you really want. I'd probably throw in some choreography there, but honestly, it's a fun song, so everyone doing the chorus, fine. Just throwing around props around the stage. Yeah. You were going to say something about props, I think, earlier.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a praise or a critique. It's more of just a note, a consideration, if you will, that this is a very prop-heavy song. Now, in Mime, like, we try to minimize props as much as we can, because, like, we are doing mime, so why would we use a staff when we can do, mime technique with a staff? Right. So that's kind of the point of things. Now, I feel like this song lends itself to like the ridiculous nature of it. It makes the use of all these crazy props okay, right? Because it's leaning into the absurdity, and it's leaning into, you could say, the improperness. I don't know. Pun intended.
No, I just messed with improperness, but I do agree. Prop, because it's a prop.
Pun not intended.
This guy.
I was so confused. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Come on, follow the puns. No, but one thing that I think also excuses it is that openers are allowed to be more visually like shiny, if you would. People are really basic, and there's something shiny on a stage. People want to hear it. It's fun music. People want to go see. Like, it's that simple, man. Yeah, I was intentionally mixing up the anyway. But so, though I would not use that many props throughout my whole lineup, some teams have chosen to do that. I want to get into the mime aspect of it, but using a lot of props at the very beginning of a set list, and then you throw them all away, and so we can get into the time when people are actually focused. You kind of have that back and forth in public outreaches. You do something really big and shiny, people come and watch it, and then you get it simpler so they get to the heart of the message and less distractions. I feel like it's fair going back and forth on that consideration.
Totally fine.
All right, what about the theology of this song, Charleton? I'm going to light up the world at Christmas time.
I don't know. Like, I think this song is perfect theologically.
Yeah, really, like, because it doesn't hit on it.
Because it has nothing. Nothing.
Okay. Fun little moment in the lyrics. I love that the first time it says that I got the Christmas spirit. In the third chorus, it says, I got the Holy Spirit. Yeah, a little subtle nod, because I do believe, obviously there's Christians who disagree. I do believe that we can take things that were meant for other purposes in culture and redeem them. And so, while Christmas might or may not have some pagan roots, people can disagree about those too. Even if it did, I think it's perfectly appropriate to redeem it and to celebrate the birth of Christ collectively with the whole world at one time. So, more power to it. Celebrate Christmas, man.
Mullen. So, what day do you go to church?
Every day. No. Okay, I can't go every day. What do you mean, what day do I go to church, though?
What day do you go to church to, like, do your... go to the service where there's...
Christmas Eve?
Stuff? No, I mean, like, on a weekly basis.
Sunday?
Oh, Sunday? You mean the day that they worship the sun?
S-O-N? Got him.
No, but, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, to agree with you that the origins of certain holidays, like, you can go with every single day of the week and it has like some pagan roots.
Right.
It's kind of ironic. like Monday is the day of the moon, Sunday is the day of the sun, Saturday is the day of Saturn.
Right.
Thursday is the
Which
day of
are
Thor. Like,
celebrating different gods, right?
yeah, different
But like
gods.
obviously those have those roots, but
Mhm.
there's no meaning to it.
Yes, and of course, being Christians, we know that they don't exist. So
Right.
who cares?
So right, we can all celebrate the birth of our Lord at the same time. So
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate to say that we are going to do our Christmas celebrations, whatever traditions we may have, in a way that glorifies and honors the Lord. I
Exactly.
think it's that simple, but
Mhm.
that's my theological rant.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's rate it. Clarity, difficulty. Style.
Did I even get picked up by the mic?
Style. I think it got picked up by the mic.
Probably.
So, as far as the clarity of the message, the choreography has a different aspect of it. I don't think it's lyric dependent of a song, even though it obviously says we're going to light up the world at Christmas time. I think you get the message of like this Mr. Grinch type character, or even kind of say like Scrooge McDuck type character.
Sure. It's very specific, but all right.
It's a Scroogey kind of like a trope of like person who doesn't like Christmas kind of trope.
Well, I'm just curious why you chose Scrooge McDuck and not like Ebenezer Scrooge. That's my question.
Because it's that silly. Like, I feel
Okay.
like it's not that serious enough to say it's like the actual Scrooge.
Okay.
So clarity, I feel like you got a person who doesn't like Christmas. It's a little difficult for them to portray it because a lot of unspecific cues. You just have to be a good character to demonstrate it. But assuming they do so, I feel like I'd give the clarity like a 6.
No, really. I was feeling like I was being a bit critical by giving it like a 6 or a 7. It was kind of where I was leaning. But
Yeah.
Mostly.
Because I think it's the character of the Scrooge person. Like, they need to really be good in character, but even if they are, I think you can miss them that aspect of the song.
Yeah, and like I feel like the Scrooge character, but I was also going to throw in the setting because that's a thing that I have an issue with. Is when I first watched this song, I thought it was like taking place inside of the person's house because you got the Christmas tree, you got the decorations, and I was really confused about the dog. But it's like, okay, people have dogs in their house, and the person who then came in, I was really confused about who they were. Like maybe it was like a sibling or a parent or something like that who just didn't like Christmas. So the setting I got completely wrong because what is the setting?
So it's complicated because it's changed a few times. It was supposed to be that the person walks out of their house, so like opens the door, they are outside, and then the change scenes halfway through the verse where the person outside freezes, and then everything inside becomes like the staircase or a bookshelf or some other thing. So it is very confusing on that aspect of it. But it's kind of like, it doesn't matter where the scene is. You're like, oh, he's on a staircase. Oh, they're outside now. Like, obviously, you could probably mime that better. But because that's what the storyline does, like, lights around the window, like, oh, they're outside. I feel like you get that aspect of it pretty quickly.
Are you calling me an idiot? Because I didn't get that. Don't answer that. Anyway, so but like the reason that I bring that up as kind of detracting points for clarity
I would agree.
is because like the Scrooge character is who, and I feel like them being a main character to establish who that is, what their relationship is pretty paramount to the storyline of the song.
Fair.
And so if it's like a sibling, then they already have a pre-existing relationship. If it's just some idiot off the street who doesn't like Christmas, then it's a different story entirely.
Right, and I think we were trying to show the neighbory aspect by him mime walking at the beginning, so he's walking past the street and sees it. I think we might have had some limitations based on the camera angle and the room on the stage kind of this way.
Right.
But I do agree that clarifying who that person is, they're supposed to be a neighbor, they're supposed to freeze or go away maybe when they go inside or something. I don't know. It's difficult to kind of stage it the way we have it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know.
I would agree. Going lower in clarity is fair.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6.
Yep, I think that's right along where
Yeah.
I was going. All right, difficulty. So oddly enough, it has to get a little bump because that staircase.
Staircase alone does have some issues.
And then it's just a lot of characterization. And yes, there's random mime technique, but it's not hard mime technique most of it.
It's not an unreasonable song, but it is. I'm not going to say cue heavy, but it's very
interdependent. So like the person tripping, the neighbor, the dog, like that has to be coordinated together. Or we have another little fun thing when the decorator comes out and hands the main person it. They like swing the ball of the Santa hat onto the person's hand so that the person goes like, you might be thinking I'm crazy, and then it lands in their hand. So we have a couple things that are interdependent cues, if you would.
Yeah. Yep. And so like with the cues, with the colorization, with the style, with the technique, I honestly feel like it's probably a bit harder than it looks. Because like looking at it, there's just a lot going on and stuff like that. But at the same time, a lot of the song is like with the chorus, for example, it's pretty repetitive. It's got a simple dance, not too bad. Some of the, like, for example, the doghouse and the nativity scene are pretty simple. They just kind of sit there. The trees, also not that hard. I feel like the background people, difficulty is like a 2. And then the main characters and so forth are, and also the decorator, are more up there. So in difficulty, I would say like, I'm thinking like a 7.
Okay. I was going closer on the lower side just because having taught this song, like, yes, there's more time that's dependent on the main character, and then there's more time that's dependent on interlacing everything. But most of the movement's pretty simple. Like, if you're a tree, you stand there. If you're a doghouse, you do this and do the chorus. So I'd agree, like, background's like a 2. Overall, though, I'd still give it like a 5. Having taught this song a couple times, you have a couple cues that you're trying to hit and trying to get it clear. Honestly, the hardest part is just getting people to have enough character. Like, that dog needs to just have like 10 energy the entire time. They have to choose to have fun with the song and make up stuff for them to do. Like, I can't choreograph them doing, like, I don't know, we had one person who would take the bone, move it somewhere else, dig a hole, put it there, and be like, and move it somewhere else. Like, the whole song, they were just like OCD about their bone, where it was going to go. And then when the person got close to it, they would like move it away from I didn't tell them to do it. They had a lot of fun. It was really cute and really silly kind of thing. So hardest part is just getting people to actually have enough energy. So I'll give it a 5 for that.
All right. Yeah. I think, I was considering giving it like maybe a 6 or something, but I think I'm going to stick with a 7. Mostly because as much as, yes, I agree, I also disagree with you specifically because I just want to disagree with you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, like
I disagree with me too.
No, like mostly because of all of the colorization that can be added. I feel like it raises the ceiling a bit, and that's kind of where I'm going with that.
Yep, that's fair. All right, style. I think it's a fun, goofy song and has a lot of style.
It's got a lot of
the staircase alone gives it like a whole point or two. Like, I don't know any other songs that have people walking on other people's backs. I don't know. I was gonna give it like an 8. I feel like for being a fun, silly song.
Yeah.
The chorus probably could use some extra things at the end to make it extra fun, but 8 seems like a fun song.
I'm thinking like somewhere 7, 8, 9 kind of range. I'm just gonna go cut the middle and go 8.
8.
Mostly because like it's got a bunch of, like, we talk about breaking bounds, doing unique things.
Yeah.
And this song does so many unique things.
Yeah.
And as a introductory type song, like a lot of those types of songs are usually like really dance or sign heavy or, things like that. But this one actually has like a full-fledged choreography and a storyline going along with it, while also being an exciting, fun visual experience.
Right.
And
so,
like,
the whole choreography is not like in the song at all. Like, maybe the main person saying I'm happy, that's the closest thing. But it's kind of like it developed the lyrics to the song for main character and developed the whole background.
Yeah. So I think it's got some good style.
Cool. Well, I'll throw links down below for this version as well as some other versions. I don't know if I have an original version, but if I do, look down there because I think it'd be interesting for you to see the differences in how it's developed. All right. Anything else for them?
I don't know.
Do you want to say that one more time?
No, I'm sticking with that.
Okay. If you're not subscribed already, because we'll show the statistics of how many people aren't subscribed again, because we can. I'm making you do more work, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I gotta open up YouTube, go to my creator studio,
a little snippet of it, and then highlight it over my
the
face.
analytics,
right, but then it like zooms into the camera, so I'm just getting forward.
And then we get like Christmas lights that are decorated around it, and then like a Santa hat on top of it.
Exactly.
There we go.
But Merry Christmas to you all. Well, it's coming up soon. But
Christmas.
As you get ready to celebrate Christmas, the celebration of Christ, Moss
Christ.
Moss Christ, yeah. I'm Samuel.
And I'm Charleton.
Breaking the line.